Is Georgia defensive lineman Jalen Carter the most dominant player right now in college football? That's the question that I have for you today. Now, it might sound crazy if you look at the numbers, but after watching him play against Tennessee and Mississippi State the last 2 weeks, I think you could absolutely make the case that Jalen Carter, maybe not the best player in college football, because that usually goes to the quarterbacks, but he is the most dominant player in college football. And I think if you watch closely, especially if you're a Georgia fan watching this video, you know how important he is, and you know that he is an absolute game wrecker when he is in the game. Now, he has missed a few games. Of course, he went down during the Missouri game, missed the Auburn and Vanderbilt game, I believe, but you saw what he did against Oregon, and really the last 2 weeks, the guy has just dominated. So far this season, 2022, only 17 total tackles, 17 quarterback hurries. The guy is getting after the quarterback like it's, he's being paid to do it. And of course, next year, he will get paid a lot of money to do what he's doing now, which is stop the run, get after the quarterback, and just create pressure, create havoc. That's what Georgia's defense is all about. He was a 5-star prospect for a reason. I think most outlets had him as a 5-star. If they didn't, they got it wrong because he dominated in high school. He's a guy that everyone wanted, and he's the guy that Kirby said, hey, we need to focus on him, and we need to get his commitment now, and they were able to land it. But 17 total tackles, 17 quarterback hurries. He had a career-high 7 tackles last week against Mississippi State with the sack, and against Tennessee, y'all saw what he did. He just took over the game. 4 tackles, quarterback sack that should have been a safety. Another tackle for loss and 2 forced fumbles. The guy is just a wrecking ball every time he's in a one-on-one matchup. He's winning it. He is an absolute bully, and there's no one who can even slow him down right now. The guy gets off blocks. No one just dominates their one-on-one battles like Jalen Carter. I know CJ Stroud is really, really good. Bryce Young having another terrific season. Will Anderson, I get why he's probably going to be a top 5, NFL draft pick. Like Jalen Carter, those guys are really good. But if we're talking about total domination, every single play, Jalen Carter could make the case as the most dominant player in college football right now. He's not a 3-down defensive lineman, but when he's in the game, he's going to win his matchup just about every time. So I think he only has 2, maybe 3 sacks on the season, but he's getting to the quarterback. He's making, these athletic quarterbacks that Georgia's seeing every single week scramble, have to make plays with their feet, get outside the pocket. He forces them to, force a turnover, or he forces the quarterback to throw the ball out of bounds, incomplete pass, whatever. So while the numbers may not be there and they're very important, the guy's doing his job, and he's getting into the backfield. When he hits someone, whether it's a quarterback or running back, he's going to leave a bruise, and he just makes it look easy. He consistently flashes play after play after play. As good as Georgia's defense was last year, and we saw guys like Trayvon Walker go number 1, Jordan Davis, first-round pick, Devonta Wyatt, first-round pick, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walkers, Lewis Cine, over and over and over. There was a lot of people who said Jalen Carter was the best player on that defense, and he's showing why this season. He already looks like an NFL defensive lineman playing at Georgia right now. He's the closest thing to Aaron Donald that I think you're going to find, and he's doing it from the inside. He's an interior guy. He's 6'3", 300, so it's not like he's flying off the edge with these long Leonard Floyd type of arms, standing up, using his speed to get around tackles. No. He's strong, he's physical, and he's just bullying the interior lineman in front of him, pushing him backwards and getting to the quarterback at a consistent basis. So he's been incredible this season, and now that he's healthy, he's showing that, hey, he might be the best player in college football, pound for pound. And there's just not a lot of guys who are playing their position better than Jalen Carter. Overall, it's kind of a down year as far as talent goes in college football. I think compared to years past, I'm not super sold on CJ Stroud. I think he does a really good job of hitting wide open receivers, plays in a system that makes it easier for him. Not sure he's going to make it in the NFL. Bryce Young is really good. Really, really good. We saw what he did against Georgia in the SEC championship game last year. And I thought he played pretty well in the national championship game too. His receivers did not help him out a bit. but he's been really good this year. I think he should be the first quarterback off the board. But Jalen Carter is really, really good. Maybe the most dominant Georgia defender that we've seen in quite a few years, and that's saying something. Probably since Roquan Smith, have we seen a Georgia defender just consistently wreck the game like this. Jordan Davis, phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. I don't want to take anything away from Jordan Davis. He dominated time after time. There's a reason he was a first-round pick, Georgia legend, all of that. I get it. He doesn't have the athleticism that Jalen Carter does. Jalen Carter can, again, turn around, play some fullback. He's scored a touchdown, receiving at times. I think they should probably have him in goal line situations on offense even more. There are not a lot of 300-pound guys as athletic as Jalen Carter. So he's got the quick hands. He can beat you with quickness off the ball, but he's also physical and he's strong as an ox. And he is a guy who, again, just consistently does his job. Will Anderson does his job too. I think those are probably the two best defenders in college football. But Jalen Carter's been doing this time after time. Last year, 2021, 37 tackles, 33 quarterback pressures. That's crazy. If he's not getting to the quarterback, he's affecting the quarterback, and he's making it difficult for everyone that he plays against. Second best on the team last year in quarterback hurries. He also had 3 quarterback sacks, 8.5 TFLs, 2 block kicks, including maybe the biggest block kick in Georgia football history in that national championship game against Alabama. That was absolutely huge. Turned the game. Of course, James Cook had the big 60-something yard run, I think 2 plays after that. So that play gave Georgia the momentum in that championship game. And, of course, we saw what happened later. So does Georgia beat Alabama last year if Jalen Carter does not block that kick? I think that's a good question to be asked. They probably do, but still, that block kick was monumental. He does it on defense, he does it on special teams, and he can do it on offense too. He's a guy who can affect the game in so many different ways. And after the last 2 weeks, dude's been unstoppable. No one can block him right now, especially Mississippi State and Tennessee. There's no one on the offensive line on either one of those teams that can block this guy right now. Kentucky has a terrible, terrible offensive line. They're soft, they're weak. No one is going to touch this kid this weekend in Lexington. He is just going to go off and destroy them, just like he did last year. He was a man on a mission last year against Kentucky, 6 tackles and a win, 2.5 tackles for loss. I think he had a big sack where it didn't look like he hit him that hard, but Will Levis went flying. When he hit someone, the stadium shakes, right? Everyone sees it, and it looks impressive. So the way he gets off blocks as easy as he does it too, there's a reason I think he's going to be a top 5 pick, and there's a reason that people have been saying for over a year now that, hey, this dude at Georgia, watch out. He might be young. He might be, not a name that you know of like, Devonta Wyatt, Jordan Davis, and Nakobe Dean, but keep an eye on him. Well, his time has come, and he's proving time after time, game after game, that not only is he one of the best players in college football, he is probably the most dominant at his position. And again, what more can you say? The guy did it last year. He's doing it this year. But what he did the past 2 weeks, if he continues to play like that, I don't care who Georgia plays in the playoff. LSU's not going to have an answer for him. I don't think there's anyone playing for Michigan or Ohio State who has an answer for him. Obviously, Tennessee doesn't have an offensive lineman who can handle him. When he's healthy and he's getting after the quarterback on third down, good luck, because the dude is just dominating time after time, play after play. He's getting the job done, and I personally think that he is the most dominant player in college football right now. You're going to see him on Sundays. Georgia fans, enjoy him over these next several games. I think there's a good chance that he continues his dominance the rest of the season, and when the game is on the line, the biggest game, the big moments, Jalen Carter's there to make a play. Again, we saw it against Tennessee. The balls are backed up on the 2-yard line, trying to make a big pass to get out of that. He's the one who gets off his block with ease, drills Hendon Hooker, forces the fumble, should have led to a safety. But when a play needs to be made, he's a guy who's going to be there to make the play. Just dominant. And again, I don't think we've seen someone dominate the way he has since Roquan Smith. You could probably put Nakobe Dean, Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis in the conversation, but Jalen Carter is a man playing among boys right now. It is varsity against JV when he's on the field. There's not a single offensive lineman who can block him right now in one-on-one situations. If you want to block him, you're going to have to double team him. He's been that good, and I think he's the most dominant player right now in college football. What do you think? Drop a comment in the section below. Thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on Dog Post.